Hello, mystery friend. Come on in and get cozy. This video might just spin me until I'm undone. Warning, there might be tears. Because today I'm talking about my last month being a homeschool mom and what that's going to mean for my writing and my business and my life. And I'm almost already tearing up. I know that some of you out there have been in my shoes before, and some of you out there are looking forward to the days when you're going to have this kind of announcement and that you're going to be retiring from homeschooling your kids, or maybe not even just homeschooling, but watching them graduate and launch out into the world and all of that. But for me, this is extremely heavy. It's taken me by surprise how heavy it has been, knowing that I'm just about to begin the end. This has been 16, 17 years of my life homeschooling my children, and it's been a huge honor and a blessing. It has required a lot of relearning and learning and sacrificing and penny pinching and sleeplessness and all the things that go into raising children. It's been hard, but it's been beautiful. But as a writer, it's undoing me. I know last month I talked a little bit about a small sadness we had in our family. It was a large sadness, but we're all safe. And how that had totally thrown off my plans for April. I wasn't able to dive into writing like I thought I was going to be able to. I wasn't able to complete the book that I anticipated completing in April. I was kind of just dead weight for almost 2 weeks before I could get back to my writing life. And even that was very slow. Like we're talking, I was chugging along at like maybe 200 words every other day. Feeling this weight that is now on me, there's the pressure of time because there's a lot of deadlines to meet at the end of this journey. There's a lot of excitement and like graduation excitement, party excitement, prom, grad night, all those kind of things are factoring into my already busy existence. But then this deep heaviness of letting go of something that has been part of my identity for almost 2 decades, of watching my youngest, who has battled and scraped and fought her way here with perseverance and compassion. It's a lot. It's a lot of feeling. And when I get these kinds of feelings, it's really hard to write comedy. It's really hard to write mystery. It's really hard to write death, to be honest, because, cozy mysteries usually have some kind of death in them. It's hard to write those things because the hurt or the pain or the heaviness or the anticipation and excitement is so much larger than what you're writing. It's hard. So for this next month, I am giving myself a huge grace period, because I am expecting to be mildly shattered at the end of this journey. And so I'm planning for it. I am not anticipating it. Like, I'm not like, oh, I know I'm going to take to the bed and I'm going to be, unable to be a person. That's not what I'm saying. If that's the case, then that's the case and I'll get through that. But I can't force myself to write at this moment because it's too loud. The rest of my life is too loud right now. A long time ago, I embraced this writing journey has seasons. I've always been a writer. I've always been a storyteller. I've always loved doing this. The way I've written, my voice, the things I've written have changed since I was younger to now, and I'm really thankful for that. I think I've grown a lot, but I've always wanted to be what I am right now. Um, it's just seasons. There's been seasons when I've been unable to write at all. Like when my children were little, I remember writing little poems about them as they slept and things like that, or a little story for them to help encourage them to learn how to read or to um, help them through a tough situation. I remember doing that. I once wrote a friend a story, a really cheesy children's book about moving away because they were moving away and they were having a hard time with it. So I did little things like that in seasons. And I think this is going to be another season where I'm going to be unable to perform at my best. But I don't want to give up on writing, and I don't want it to be such a long break that I forget how to do what I'm supposed to be doing. So here's my plan. And like I said, this could all fall down and the chute and just crumble at my feet when the actual celebrations, the actual last day approaches. That could all, that could all just go. But for now, my plan is to continue writing every day, but either give myself a very small time limit, like 15 minutes, and that's it, or a small word count, like 250 words, 200 words, and that's it, and be satisfied that I've made forward motion. I've also contemplated writing something completely different during this time because I don't want this heaviness to affect the book I was writing. The book I was writing is hilarious and fun and lighthearted. And yeah, it's got some murder in it, but come on, it's cozy and we can deal with it because it all works out for justice in the end, right? But I don't think I can be light and funny and feisty like I need to in my mind, or let those characters through the way they need to come through with this heaviness on us. I know I've experienced heaviness before. I know that you guys have heard my depression story. You know that I battle this all the time. And then some days it's a piece of cake, and some days it's a struggle to make myself be a person. And that I'm dealing with it, and that I keep persevering and I keep overcoming by the grace of God. I'm able to do these things and manage in a way that usually can lead me to be creative. But there have been 2 seasons in my writing career, 3 seasons, if I'm honest, in my writing career that have set off my writing. And that was one when my grandmother passed. I was unable to write death. I couldn't do it. It was too real. I couldn't wrap my head around it. So I wrote a completely different book, which will probably never see the light of day, a sci-fi young adult mystery, which will probably never, ever see. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to let my husband read it or my mother read it, let alone anyone else in the world. But it meant something to me. And it was fun to write. And I got to be in a different world and pretend along the way and escape a little bit through that story, as I hope my stories provide for you, a safe place to play, a safe place to escape. And once I was done with that story, once it concluded, I was able to go back to writing my mysteries again. And then when my sister moved away, that was last year. That was another heavy season for me. That was really hard. We were going through her move. We were going through job loss. We were going through just one of those seasons where life hits you hard all at one time. And we were going through that season. That was just like last year around this time. And I could not write the way I wanted to write. So I wrote a short that will probably come out later this year. And it was a mystery, but it didn't involve any death because I couldn't do that. but it was a little bit darker. It was a little bit sadder. The character was battling something. It wasn't lighthearted. It wasn't, even the ending, even though it had hope in the end of it, it wasn't bouncy, fun, escape. It was a little bit heavier. And once I was finished writing that one, I could take a little bit of a break and start writing again. The third season that I went through where I wasn't writing as much was when I was working with Dale. And that was because I had so many deadlines to meet. And I'm good about meeting a deadline when it's imposed by somebody else. And I was learning and growing so much. I had so much data coming in that I couldn't put out the kind of work I wanted to put out. And then at that time, I was graduating my oldest. So I had that emotion wrapped up into it. But because I had this focus, it was like I could focus on this work thing and then just fit things into my calendar. I don't know how that works for me, but it does. If I don't have a calendar or a deadline, I just go off the walls. I don't have that this time with my youngest. And I am anticipating, like I said, the heaviness to have some overtaking moments. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow myself to cry. Excuse me. I'm going to allow myself to take breaks. I'm going to allow myself to spend a whole day reading and consider that work, opposed to forcing myself to write something that I know isn't my normal. I'm going to do my best to write something every day, even if it's not a cozy mystery, even if it's never going to see the light of day. I'm going to try to get my hands and my brain to work to write. I might even do something crazy like try dictation for a little bit and see how that works for me. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to pressure myself to be something other than I am at this moment. If I'm sad, I'm going to be sad. If I'm jubilant, I'm going to be jubilant, and I'm going to allow myself to feel all the feels and live life the way it comes at me, which is really hard for me to do. And it's really hard for me to express to you how hard that is, because I don't want to stop writing. I love writing. I don't want to be behind by pausing for a while. I don't want any of this heaviness. I want it all to be happy and bubbles and fun. But it just doesn't work out that way. Even during happy times, like this is a happy time. It is a huge celebration. Without giving away anything personal about my girl, she has fought to get where she is, and I couldn't be prouder of her. But it's still hard for this mama to let it go. And it's still hard to know that part of who I am, who I saw myself as, is going away. And that part of me is going away forever. And then part of that relationship with my child is going away too. She's not going to need me in that capacity anymore. We're still going to be close. I have no doubt about that. But the need for me is different. And so watching her branch out is going to be terrifying and amazing. Just like it was for my oldest. It's terrifying and amazing to watch them be who they are. But so during this time, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I am planning to still make videos, especially my shorts for my author accountability shorts. I am planning to make more lighthearted videos like what I'm reading this month, what I'm planning to do next month, that kind of stuff. But it won't be a whole bunch of deeper things like this, like talking to you about feelings, because I just can't process the feelings right now. They're a little bit loud. Anyway, I hope you understand. I know you understand because you are my mystery friend and you get it. You get it. You might have even walked it before me. Or if not, I'm walking it before you, and I'll let you know how it comes out when it's over. But I'm so thankful to have you in my life to share this journey with and to share these moments with, because we all have moments that we go through. And if I can be a little light to you during your heavy moments, then I would love to be that light for you. I hope this makes sense. I hope it wasn't just a huge rambling. But yeah, that part, that being a homeschool mom who writes, is almost over, and I'll just be a writer mom. And that's going to feel really weird. And I am both terrified, like I said, and excited to see what's coming next. Let me know in the comments if you've ever walked this journey, or if you anticipate walking this journey, or any other season of heaviness. How did you get through it? Were you able to keep writing, or did you retreat into some kind of, like to books, like I'm going to be retreating into books and just family and being around each other? Or did you push through? Which do you think is better as far as an option for you? Pushing through or taking time to escape a little bit? Let me know. And I'm sure somebody else on here has been through the similar journey and would love some of your encouragement. Until the next time, God bless and stay cozy. Bye.